Alright guys, Copper Cutlass here, as you can see, by my breath. It's a little cold in here, just a little above 32 degrees. I got the heater facing us, so it's really not that bad. Usually Friday nights I'm out here getting ready to work on something for tomorrow, but tomorrow's going to be a busy day. We got a bunch of snow tonight, and I have responsibilities at work. I man the plow truck, and I have to go not only work, plow, so I probably won't get out here tomorrow until later on in the day. But what we got going on tomorrow, working on this, is going to be pretty basic. Removing the rear bumper, tail lights, dropping the gas tank, and maybe taking out the seats at least and pulling back the carpet. I'm debating on whether or not to bring the camera out for that. Let me know if you guys are really interested in that. I do want to thank you guys for watching and following. We got new subscribers, and our viewership overall is up, which makes me really happy because I'm not doing this for a popularity contest. I'm doing this because I'm a do-it-yourselfer, but I do work on cars for a living, which is kind of the topic I wanted to talk about tonight. I don't know about other guys who kind of work in the trades. I mean, this is kind of applicable to any other trades, but working on cars in particular, I do collision repair, auto body. You know, that's my bread and butter. That's my 9 to 5 grind. And like, I share a lot of my work on Instagram, and there's a lot of things I don't share. I sometimes won't share work for like the dumbest things. And I'm sure other guys who work on cars can relate on this, because people who have their cars worked on are really usually, I wouldn't call every customer bad, but a lot of people are already put in a bad situation, especially when it's a collision repair, right? Nobody wants to get in an accident. You got customers that are picky just because the car's in a body shop. Oh, let's see what this is all about. And they do all of this info research, and they go on YouTube and Reddit or whatever, and all of a sudden, in the last 2 weeks while their car has been in the shop, they've pent up this rage towards the repair shop that they don't even, there's already prejudgment. And I sometimes won't share some of my work on Instagram or even Facebook for the dumbest of things. I take a lot of pride in my work and what I do. I love what I do for a living. I've learned to not take it for granted. I have been there where I have said I'm burnt out, and I was dead wrong. And that was one of the biggest and best things I ever did. Was I told myself I was burnt out on the trade after 5 years, and I pursued something else, and I realized how much I loved it because I was miserable. What I did, I worked in a machine shop for a while, and I was miserable, man. I was working nights. It was very monotonous. It was very boring. And it made me realize that I have to make this work for me because I love working on cars. And it's the same reason why I can come out here after work on a Friday or on a Saturday or on my free time or go racing on the weekends. That drives me is I love working on cars and spending time on them. And the past couple of months for me have been kind of riddled with a lot of bad luck, and partly maybe me lacking some of my due diligence, especially getting into the busier months of the winter. I would say between May and October, our work is pretty steady at work. There's not a whole lot that can go wrong. When you get busier, it ramps up fast. I can go from having 5 cars on my plate at one time to 10. And we're a production body shop. We have big accounts, and it's just 2 main body guys there and an apprentice, so it's a 2.5-man crew. And lately it's been like riddled with like just things that have gone wrong with parts haven't gone out on time. Some of these things are a little out of my control. Some of the things are in my control. I'm not perfect. I am not perfect, and I'm not going to sit here and preach to you guys and tell you that I'm the end all be all, but I make mistakes, and I take it very personal. I love the job I do, and I work at an amazing shop. I work for great people, and I take it very serious when I screw up because I feel like the expectation is always to deliver, and that's my job. That is my job. To not only do my job, but I have to deliver. I have to get a job done in a certain time frame because insurance companies are paying for rental cars. Time is money, and when you're dealing with big insurance companies like State Farm, Nationwide, Progressive, you name it, everything is based on time. We have cycle times we have to deal with being on their repair programs. So I'll be honest with you guys, man. I kind of needed a night off, and even though I'm out here today, I'm really not working. All week I really wasn't motivated to really come out here and do anything. It's like when the pot boils over. I had a job that I really put a lot of, I guess I wouldn't call it effort, I would call it passion. Whenever I get like a big job or something, there's small jobs and they're big jobs. And you get your small jobs like a fender replacement, a bumper replacement, a headlight, maybe a little tug on the core support, stuff like that. We call those money jobs. They're quick, they're fast, they're in and out, they take no effort. And then you got sometimes these big jobs that they're big wrecks. You're sectioning frame rails, you're removing engines. If you guys follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you probably have seen some of the big wrecks that I've worked on. And those big jobs, I absolutely try my best to top my last job because at the end of the day, you're only as good as your last job. And when something goes wrong and it happens like repeatedly, it really takes the wind out from under your wings and it kind of gets to you, you know what I mean? And for me on a personal level, it makes me question whether or not what I'm doing here is even worthy of showing to people. So it can really unmotivate you. And that's kind of the whole feeling I've had in the last week, and actually this whole month, because again, it's like been the whole last 2 months, probably since the middle of November. I've had something dumb happen in one way or another. Some of them are my problems, some of them are not, and it's just the way it goes. I take it very personal, and it really makes you question your work and yourself and what you're doing and what you're sharing with people. And I try to bring to you guys, the viewer, probably the best content that I possibly can, because I don't want to be seen as a hack, but I also want to be true to the whole do-it-yourself backyard kind of work. You know, I can easily take my car how it is right now to my shop, and there's no doubt in my mind that they would be okay with me taking it to the shop, putting the body on a lift, and me welding up the frame and having it back home Sunday night. But that's not what I'm doing. I kind of want to take a professional approach to garage work for guys because it's not that hard. You kind of have to get yourself into that rhythm of thinking a little bit more on a professional level. And I think if I share with people, it can maybe help people achieve that level of work, perhaps, because I'm not a professional engine builder, but I've built plenty of engines that have been successful, and I've never had any major catastrophic failures. Knock on the proverbial non-existent wood around here, but I try to do my best work and bring my best work to the table, and that is no exception to what I do here. I have that same mentality at work, and there is some direct correlation. I watched a video from I have followed for a long time, like Eric the Car Guy, and it's been amazing what he's done with his page. And those guys do a lot of talking. They have some cool projects. I came in the Humble Mechanic I really like, which is kind of like a little bit of my inspiration to do this, because those guys have kind of gone a little bit away from some of their projects. They do a lot of talking, but they, I guess that's what people want from them, and that's cool. Like, I like that. And they got some really good stuff to say because they've been doing this for a while, and they're on a certain tier of professionalism and respect that people don't need to see their projects. They're interested in what they have to offer. I guess, what's the word I want to use here? Either on a mental level, you know what I mean? There's a whole different, I think sometimes talking is one of the best things you can do, and I love to talk. So, my nose is getting runny here. It's a little cold, and my ass is freezing on the screen, so I'm going to stand up. But it's one of those things where, for me, I kind of have to talk it out, because at times I don't know if this is the right thing that I'm doing. I've gotten a lot of really good feedback from people, and clearly we got new subscribers, but and I'm not saying that you guys as subscribers, viewers, followers, likers, whatever, aren't doing your part, but I just hope that I am bringing a certain level of not only entertainment, but hopefully giving you guys some insight as to what I do that you guys can truly take in. Because at the end of the day, I'm doing this because when I got started in the hobby, I didn't come into this hobby with just a goal of having a cool car. The whole reason why I bought my 72 Cutlass was to learn. You guys look at this car, and to the normal person, they see a cool classic car. But to me, this car was graduation day. This car was the rolling test bed for everything I wanted to learn and do. And it was only going to look as good as I can do. And it was only going to run as good as I can do. And over the years, it's gotten better. And it's been through hell and back. Those who know me from 13, 14 years ago when I first got this car know the ins and outs of this car. It's been wrecked. I wrecked it like a year after I restored it. It's looked like shit. It's progressively gone faster, but it's also become a level of professionalism. You look under my hood and it looks clean. It looks a lot better than it did 3 years ago. And it's hard to kind of maybe, I wouldn't say drive my point, but to try to explain that to people, because I kind of started on this whole YouTube thing a little too late in my game of the hobby. And the best thing was when we were working on this car, and this is the beauty of kind of diving into this project, there's a lot of things I did that are very much some of the early things I did on my Cutlass. And so I pretty much took over this project, and I'm undoing a lot of my stuff, but part of that is showing you guys that, like, dude, just go for it. Don't judge your work. Just have fun with it and do it. And down the road, you got something else to do. And I know for some people, they don't want to do that, because I've gotten shit for building engines that I know are only going to live maybe 2-3 seasons. There's people that don't want to do that. Well, it's like, you can take my recipe, my formula, and add a different quality to it. You can build upon it like you wish to. So my whole thing is like driving that point of trying to do the best I can, but I don't want people out there viewing and watching thinking that I'm trying to put myself out there as the best of the best, because you know what, guys? I embrace the whole fucking up mentality. If you're not screwing up, you're not learning. And at work, I learned so much, and I still make mistakes. I mean, nobody likes comebacks, but I get them occasionally. And I take it serious. And when I do something in my car and something doesn't work out, I sometimes don't want to put it out there, but I have to, because maybe somebody can learn from my mistake if they comprehend it. The other day on Facebook, on my Copper's Garage page, I posted about like my first real like high performance 350 olds that I built, and the list of mistakes on that thing is like a page long. Almost every mistake you can make, I fucking made it. But at the end of the day, that engine ran a respectable time, considering it was fucking, the carb was wrong, the torque converter was wrong, and my lack of experience. But it never stopped me. So, guys, I hope that you guys watching and subscribing understand that. And yeah, lately I kind of been a little bit out of it, because like the last 2 months have really been piling up on me on a personal level. And working on cars for a living and working out here for a living doesn't burn me out, but there's a direct correlation between my professional career and what I do here that sometimes intertwines. And I think at the end of the day is like, the older I get, the better I get, the more that I want to bring that same level of quality I do at work to what I do here, which has pushed me to make my car better. So hopefully you guys kind of gain something from a little bit of my mind and my inner workings from this. And I kind of felt like it was a really good topic, because I don't know how many people out there work on cars for a living. I don't know if you guys kind of have the same sentiment. Give us some feedback, like, comment. You know, I always try to respond as fast as I can. I do like the interaction. So guys, hit the like button, subscribe, absolutely subscribe, share. If you got friends that you think might enjoy my page, send them our way, because we got some cool stuff coming up, possibly a really cool giveaway. Probably the most asked about item in the garage. But we'll talk about that probably tomorrow after I'm done working on this. But I'm thinking that it's time to let them go, and I'm just going to give them away for free. But you guys are going to have to do a little bit of work too. So guys, follow along, share, like, subscribe. Thanks for listening to my ramblings of my mental mind. But sometimes I have to do it because I have to get it off my chest. And the only way to kind of get past it, I always have to talk it out. And what I feel here is what you guys are viewing. So thanks.